Hey, how's it looking and sounding, Eric?
You guys are looking and sounding great. The picture looks amazing. They said it's crystal clear in Atlanta. Audio's doing fine, too, so I'm ready to put them in when you are.
I can't believe the amount of stuff that's floating in this water, Eric. I mean, I've dug this thing for years. I've never seen this matter in the water before.
What do you think it is?
It almost looks like fine dust. It may be a byproduct of the dispersants, but it almost looks like your grandmother's pillow when you knock the stuffing out of it.
Yeah, we're seeing a little bit of that on top, so I'm not surprised you're seeing it down there.
Okay, well, we're going to start making our way back out.
Producer for CNN Topside. Ambulance, please, go ahead.
Roger that. Well, Amber, this is a little bit of what I expected, actually.
I know, it's crazy. We're about 48 miles away from the Deepwater Horizon still, and if you look in the water, you can see that it's cloudy right now. All these little pieces in front of us, it just looks like almost like you shook a tree or some kind of little plant. There's just little particles here all across the water.
Oh, and that's it. It's a mixture. It's kind of like there's lots of little bits of red and chunks of what you can tell is oil and chemical dispersant mixed in with all of this organic material that's floating through the water column. Little jellyfish and other creatures. And that's what's so concerning about this, is that the oil isn't confined to the surface. It is distributing throughout the water column. And it's springtime, this critical time of year, when fish and other organisms are breeding and laying eggs into the water, and it's floating through it. As it encounters this oil is toxic down to 1 part per billion for fish eggs and fish larvae. Deadly toxic. And so what we're seeing here, even though it's not the thick oil, this is still a big, big problem.
And I think that's what everyone is calling this. This is the hidden oil of the oil spill. You can clearly see it in front of us. Just stringlets of it, and it's one of those things that where you have skimmers up top, skimmers, can skim all the oil off the surface. But this oil is just going to remain here until nature takes its course. And it's weird looking at you, Philippe, right now, because it almost appears like there's some type of a mirror image over you. Are you seeing that when you look at me?
Well, and as Scott was saying earlier, and I've been out here too, I mean, at this time of year, this should be absolutely crystal clear blue water. And it's got this kind of thick color in which when the boat motors were going through the water, it was filling it up really thick film. And the best that we can tell is that chemical dispersant that's mixing into the water column. But we're not sure, and that's the other really scary part about this whole experience, is that the chemical dispersants, of which we applied almost 2 million gallons into the Gulf, on top of 150 some odd million gallons of oil that's come into the Gulf from the Deepwater Horizon spill, has never happened before. This is completely unprecedented.
I know, and it was so interesting because we were talking with the boat captain, and he comes down here all the time and goes scuba diving. And he said the first thing he noticed, how he knew there was a problem here, was that there weren't any bait fish swimming around.
Well, what I'm, really, really scared of, I mean, this is equally horrifying to the thick oil that you see so much on television, because this is this insidious cancer that's spreading through the Gulf, this dispersant that's mixing into the water column, this oil that's mixing into the water column.
You know what? I really hope this is safe, because my mask is leaking right now, and I literally have water flowing on my eyes. So.
Amber, do you need to come up?
No, I'm good. Watch. The cool thing about this is, look, if I hit this button, I can clear my mask.
what we should be seeing is beautiful, crystal clear water as we're swimming out here in the Gulf at this time of year. We should not be seeing this thick haze. It's hard to pick up with the camera, but what you see floating by are little globs of oil and chemical dispersant that comes into chunks. You're also seeing a lot of organic material that's floating in the water too, but it should be a lot clearer. And on the surface, on the way out here, we saw those big patties of deep orange, weathered orange, and chemical dispersant mix, foamy orange, chemical dispersant mix on the surface. Even here, 50 miles or so away from the Deepwater Horizon rig. And it's just coming down and collecting throughout the water column. And that's very concerning because, you know, when the last time I was diving the oil spill, we didn't know, the science yet had not been conducted to prove that there was this water chemical oil mixture that was descending through the water column. Now we've done the science, we know that's true. And for a whole host of reasons, because it's toxic, it depletes the oxygen in the water column, etc. It's very, very bad news.
Amber and Philippe and Rich are just going through a decontamination process. This is just extra precautions, extra safety. We want to make sure they are okay and out of the water. You can see Philippe getting his mask sprayed down there. You can see Amber with that headpiece on. And yeah, it looks like everybody's safe. Amber, you feeling okay?
Yeah, I feel fine. I think I'm just a little shocked at the amount of, it was hard to see on TV, but the amount of a film.
Amber is saying she's okay. She said there was a lot of film underwater that made it hard to see. Maybe it made it hard to read on camera, which is why that shot might have been a little blurry. Unclear what that film was at the moment, but everybody looks like they're doing okay. Rich Brooks is out of his dive suit already, our photographer. He's at the back of the boat there. You can see us here. We've got about 3 boats tethered together, and everybody looks safe and healthy for right now. We're just going to keep going through these decontaminations. That white matter that you were seeing, we think that's broken down oil. Scott Porter, our coral scientist who's on the boat with us, he said that film you're seeing is that white film. They think that's that oil that's been breaking down underneath the surface. It's been dispersants that have been treated. During one of our test runs for the live shot, Buck Buchanan, our safety diver, went down, and he described it as sort of as a dust cloud almost, as if you broke open an old pillow at your grandmother's house.
Whew. So we just got out of the water, and I think more than anything was the sheen you could see underneath the water. I don't know how to explain it. It was almost like a film. When I'd look at you, it was almost like you were blurred out as I was watching you.
Well, and there was a lot of organic material that was in the water as well, for sure. But there was just this sense that you were in something that was thicker and more viscous. And I could also see little globs of orange and dispersant mix that was trailing, kind of very clear oily mixture behind it, just floating through the water column. I don't know how easily the camera could pick up things that small, but it's definitely distributed through the water column.
And you know what's interesting too? If we can get, does someone have that dish soap to show them the sheen on top of the water? I don't know if we're going to be able to see it or... Okay.
We'll stay with you. We can give it a try.
Yeah, we can try to do it. We'll see if it works. But I thought this kind of explained everything really well when I saw it. I was a little amazed. Let's see if the camera will pick this up. But, okay, you see it right there? You see the sheen of oil just kind of split away from there? I hope the camera can pick that up. But
it's literally like you're in your kitchen at home, and you got greasy water in the kitchen sink, and you take a little bit of soap and you drop it in there, and it'll separate. And that's exactly, you can do that at home. That's exactly what we're seeing out here in the Gulf of Mexico. I mean, it's shocking when you really think that there's this sheen of oil. So many of the small plankton and the creatures that live in that very top layer of water of the Gulf and of the ocean, period, are vulnerable and susceptible to the toxin in that oil, and it's attacking the very base of the food chain. In fact, it's attacking all the way through the food chain.
There's no bait fish hitting the top of the water. There's no birds diving down. And I mean, like you said, it affects, the surface. The surface is where your primary production happens, and you knock that down, and you knock down a lot of productivity of the Gulf of Mexico. If it was just oil, I would say, okay, bacteria can break the oil down. But the core excite is supposed to have over 100 different compounds, some organic compounds, and bacteria don't break down organic compounds.